Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of True Crime Time for Tuesday, June the 17th, 2025. And I'm Woody Overton.
I'm Cindy Overton.
Rolling in the heat of the summer.
Yes.
Right? And LSU's in the College World Series.
I think did they break the shot record already?
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't watched.
I saw something yesterday.
No, they broke it before. They'd be breaking their own record.
Well, I know.
But they would have played last night, and we'll let you know how they're doing. So, but Patreon of Convicts, you will get your commercial-free early release of hashtag Justice for Bradley episode 2 tonight at 12:01 a.m. or Wednesday morning, 12:01 a.m., however you want to define it. Y'all, it's commercial-free. You know, you get them getting almost 3 days early. And if you want to be a patron of Convict, go to patreon.com, type in Real Life Real Crime, and you can see all the different subscription levels, or download the Real Life Real Crime Community app, which hopefully you have anyway, because I go there first every day. Download it for free from the App Store. And that's our subscribers in there we affectionately call convicts.
And you can use it for free because certain people have asked, like, what can I? And so the only thing that's locked up is the early release and all the bonus content, but everything else.
All the episodes are on there, the merch store's on there, forums, games, everything in the world, including the quickest way to message me, etc., is on there. So download that Real Life Real Crime Community app. And that being said, everybody else gets it on Friday, and it's mad. People are mad already.
Yeah.
We only one episode in. So many people talk about they were crying.
Well, they're going to really be crying this next episode.
They're going to be crying and mad. But you call in your tips at 313-RRC-TIP, and you can remain anonymous. We are working the case. I'm going to bust their ass, y'all. But I can't do it without your help. That being said, let's roll into some true crime time for not Thirsty Tuesday.
It can be if you want it to be. If you're going to watch the ball game.
Yeah, well, that's Monday night. So Taco Tuesday, and that's it. So I'm going to start you off today. I'm going to jump in and let's start out on a little bit of a lighter note. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So my baby sister is a judge. My grandfather was a judge until he died. And, you know, I have mad respect for judges. I've been so many of them's house in the middle of the night to get murder warrants signed for, search warrants signed, and everything else. And look, when you go to court, you know, a lot of people don't know or understand when you go to court, that's serious shit. You don't wear shorts in court or T-shirts or have your shirt untucked. And, you know, it's like
respect.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's respect, but judge has broad ass power, can lock you up for, you know, being an idiot, right?
Yeah.
I'll never forget, we're doing one of the preliminary motions on Courtney Coco's hearing, and they would do a lot of the stuff from the jail now via television, and they were getting this guy with a motion for something. And he was in there, and he didn't have any representation. And the judge was like, "Sir, are you ready to proceed?" And he said, "Ma'am, can you just hold on a minute? I was hungry, and today is chicken sandwich day, and I need to make sure I get my chicken sandwich."
Forgot you told me about that.
And she was like, "Excuse me?" He said, "Just come back to me in a couple minutes. I got to get my chicken sandwich." I mean, look, the inmates know what day they get served what, and certainly they have their favorite things.
Oh, God.
But so
what'd she say?
Oh, they had to cut through.
Okay.
He didn't have his lawyer, so I guess he got his chicken sandwich. So I don't know. So, but a lot of the stuff is done by Zoom. So we're going to Michigan, and there was a lady, and she had a court appearance. Court call with the judge, right? And so it was in a 36th district court, and the hearing was online for a misdemeanor charge. That's according to CBS News. During the hearing, the 36th district court judge, Sean Perkins, asked this lady, whose last name is Outerbridge, first of all, Miss Outerbridge was late for her call with the judge. Now you got court reporters, you got lawyers, you got everybody in the world is there, and everybody else is waiting to have their shit heard.
Yeah.
You got a specific time the court's granting you to,
state your
nice, nice enough to grant you. You have to drag your ass to courthouse. Any courthouse you go to, you can't find a parking spot. And so the judge is giving you a Zoom call, and you're fucking late.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? A lot of times, I could tell you so many lawyers that are just constantly late, and you're having to wait on them, and it just really chapped my ass, especially when I'd have 2 or 3 hearings that day, and I had to work that night, right? But so anyway, Outerbridge was late for the court appearance, and then she gets on, right? And so you think you have apt attention to the judge about what's going on, and be ready for your business. Well, that's not what's happening in this case. Outerbridge was a little busy. You know what she was doing? On Zoom. She was spreading peanut butter on a slice of bread.
Okay.
Judge did not really appreciate this.
I guess.
The judge said, put whatever you're trying to prepare down, Judge Perkins. And he also told her, get properly dressed.
I wonder what she had on.
She said, I am properly dressed. And the judge said, is that a robe? And Outerbridge says, I'm trying to feed my daughter. My daughter is sick and I had to keep her home from school. And I'm just trying to feed her, and that is it. And that's not going to end well for you, sweetheart.
Oh, my.
The judge said, well, I am sorry that your daughter is sick. But again, you are in court, and we're going to treat it as such. Outerbridge, the CBS News interview, and she said, that was just definitely was wrong. I could have come dressed better and more prepared, and I don't want the judge to think that I'm laughing at the situation at him, because I'm not. I take that very seriously, and I do genuinely, with a serious face, apologize to the judge. I'm a personal stylist, so I know how to present myself, but that day, it's hard for moms out here. I'm not going to lie. I took that transition of what you wear to court, and I will show different outfits you could wear to court. How can you present yourself, and how you cannot be caught lacking in a robe making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? You don't want to do that. Isn't that fucking crazy?
That's amazing.
So fucking stupid. People are so stupid. I guess she's never been in trouble before, and what the judge ended up doing?
What?
Kicked her off. The judge said, I'm ending this, and that's it. You should have been better prepared, and better dressed, and more prepared for court, and kicked him off the Zoom meeting for making peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Well, he had every right to.
Yep, I agree. And so people, listen to me. If you go to court, take that shit serious. There's a reason that's all formal. They say your honor, and you can't approach the bench and all this. Is the decorum, is that the right word? It's not decorum.
Etiquette.
It's etiquette, but there's another word. Whatever it is, it's serious. Okay? Most people don't know that lawyers are actually doctors.
Yeah, they're a doctorate of blah, blah, blah.
Juris doctorates.
Yeah.
Juris doctorates. And the judges, most of them anyway, I have been before some fucking numbnut judges. But that is what it is.
Yeah.
Don't show up for your Zoom for court in a robe. And I don't know how talented this lady is, but I can't make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without looking at my hands. It's not like you can look at a judge and be like doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. She fucked up.
I'm going to take us to a double homicide in Bloomington, Illinois.
Lord, they be killing them.
And it was the homicide occurred in the early hours of June 8th.
Right.
Okay. And there was this young couple, and it was 2:30 in the morning, and 911 got a phone call.
Right.
Of shots fired.
911, which emergency? Shots fired. Somebody's shooting.
Right.
Right.
Well, the police show up, and there's 2 dead people in the front lawn.
They say 1097 and further medical. Well, these 2 are 10-7.
Well,
means they are out of service.
They are
deceased.
And the 2 people that they found dead lying outside the home were 24-year-old Emmett Metzer and 26-year-old Alexis Mackey. They were both shot. I mean, shots were, they had reported shots fired, so they were definitely shot. But
let me give you a little tip. I know you've never been a detective. When you walk up and there's 2 bodies on the ground and they're not moving and they have holes all in them and brains are out or guts are out, and the shell casings on the ground, you can smell gunpowder in there. That's usually a dead giveaway, no pun intended, that they've been shot.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking with you.
Okay. So by sunrise, police had the suspect in custody. And
let me guess. Jealous boyfriend.
Ex-boyfriend.
Right.
Alexis's ex-boyfriend was very controlling and had bouts of anger in their relationship, and she had broken up with him 6 to 8 months prior, had moved on, and had started this relationship with Emmett.
And
Bryce,
he's stalking her. I can't have you. Nobody can have you.
Yes. And so he kills him.
Nice.
And they found him very shortly after. The police found him very shortly after, and he has been arrested. And the police know that this was obviously targeted violence. And this occurred at 2:30 in the morning. He was arrested at 7 in the morning. So it didn't, take long for them to find him. And Emmett's, mom has gone on Facebook saying how he was her world and she's shattered beyond words. And
yeah, fuck, I guess so.
Alexis was a nurse, and her sister was saying how sad she is for the loss of her sister that loved to help people, and it's just really sad.
Sucks. Another case of I don't know. I mean, obviously, I've had a lot of relationships over the year, and
over the
years, over my lifetime. BC, y'all, I call that before Cindy. And I have never, ever even dreamed of killing a motherfucker. Right?
I mean, I would assume you've never killed
I didn't kill you, did I?
I'm here.
Right. There you go. Well, that was another good one. But let's take you to a different type of story. It's time for beast mode. And people be loving their animals.
Yes.
Not always necessarily pets.
Mm-hmm.
It could be love to watch animals in nature.
Yeah.
Like I like to watch the deer and the hogs and all that before I shoot them. It's because we eat them. But I never kill anything that I'm not going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Some people just be killing to kill, or just not even kill, just do stupid shit.
Yeah.
All right. And this is really going to piss off all kinds of categories of people.
Okay.
And you don't know this story. So
most of your stories I don't know.
I guarantee you don't know this one. So we're going to Newport, England. So I guess I could have done across the pond, but this is a beast mode. Newport, England, they got some seagulls.
Okay.
All right. And one of them recently had to be taken to an animal rescue. Cindy's looking at me like I'm crazy, right? So I might ask me why after the crickets. Well, the seagull was marked with a swastika.
Why?
Exactly. So a seagull was marked with a swastika at a prison in Newport, England, and arrived at a wild bird sanctuary with some of its feathers plucked out.
Why?
Exactly. So the seagull has been identified as a lesser black-backed gull, and it was taken in by Skipper Sanctuary from HMP, which I'm guessing is Her Majesty's whatever, Isle of Wight prison on Friday, June 6th. By the animal rescue, and they put this on their Facebook. They said that the gull's tail feathers and flight feathers had been plucked from its body, resulting in some blood loss, and a large black swastika symbol had been painted in the middle of its fucking head.
Why?
This takes all kinds of assholes to make the world go around. So the Island Echo, which is a local Isle of Wight news outlet, says that the gull was grabbed by a prisoner at the Isle of Wight's only prison in Newport and subjected to serious abuse. These motherfuckers, can't even abuse each other. They got to abuse the innocent seagull. But the outlet said that the incident was reported to the Hampshire and Isle of Wight Constabulary, but police said that the perpetrator would receive low-level punishment because they are an inmate.
Okay. A low level because what would happen to him if he weren't an inmate?
Yeah, I guess
that's a hate crime.
Right. Well, we'll get to that. So a spokesperson for Skipper Sanctuary told Island Echo, if it were humans they were doing this to, they would get time added to their sentence. But because their victim is not a human, no one in a position to take actions seems to think it warrants any.
It can't fly. It can't.
Bruh. How fucking sick do you have to be to rip birds out of feather? You're holding it absolutely as torture. And then the paint of swastika, I'm going to go off on that tangent in just a minute. But the sanctuary said on the Facebook that the bird was uninjured but very traumatized from the incident. How the fuck you be uninjured when you got blood coming out?
No.
But the bird is very traumatized from the incident and would have to stay with them for multiple months as it regrew its feathers. Let's talk about sanctuary. On the gull's first night at sanctuary, they said she refused to eat and was very frightened. And in a Facebook update post on Saturday, June 7th, the day after the gull was taken in, the sanctuary said they could only imagine the horror she has been through. And as the days went by, the sanctuary posted more optimistic updates about the gull, who they named Belinda. And in a Wednesday, June 11th Facebook post, they shared that the bird spent its first night outside and had begun to spend time with the gentlest group of gulls at the sanctuary. Even birds hang out like in gangs.
Yeah, they do.
Anyway, the gentlest group of gulls at the sanctuary who have all welcomed her and helped her feel a little more at ease. Now, according to the Island Echo, Belinda the gull wasn't the first bird to be treated at Skipper Sanctuary after being rescued from the HMP. Cindy's shoulders just slumped. Y'all check it out on YouTube. From the HMP Isle of Wight. A bird later named Sunshine was rescued by the sanctuary after being dipped in yellow paint.
Mm-mm.
You got nothing fucking better to do? Go fucking do some graffiti. Leave the birds alone. The Sunshine still remains at Skipper Sanctuary, which gives long-term care for both disabled and unreleasable wild birds. So let's talk about this. I don't know what the racial situation is in Newport or in the Newport prisons, but you are, I would think there's even decent inmates or convicts. If I was in prison and I saw a motherfucker catch a bird, they probably enticed him in with a little bit of bread from lunch, right? And they catch a seagull and they start plucking feathers. Now, me, I'm the biggest hunter in the world, biggest wild game eater, whatever in the world, fisher and all that. But I respect everything I kill. I always give thanks for it and everything else. These motherfuckers, this dude's holding this bird, plucking feathers. Now, I can only relate it to the guy that was having sex with the chicken and did it on video. And when the chicken wouldn't move enough, his penis was inside the chicken, the chicken wouldn't move enough. He'd pluck another feather to make it wiggle. But then that's bad enough. But then where in the fuck do you get black paint? But maybe he had a magic
or
marker.
Yellow paint from the other sunshine.
No, I'm talking about the swastika.
I know,
where do you get black paint to, and you're there's nobody that's upset because you're painting a swastika on a bird's head?
No.
They should have beat that dude's ass.
No.
Well, anyway.
I mean, yeah, they should have. I'm just saying nobody was upset. They were probably cheering him on, laughing, giggling, do more. Like, I mean, you can only imagine what that scene was like.
I don't know.
And then to say he's not human, that the bird's not human. So, we can't say what kind of, it wasn't harmed. It can't fly. It's bleeding.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm so upset about this. I'm not a bird lover.
Racism is bad.
But this is...
Well, just for fun is bad. Making your animals be a billboard for your racist, fucking stupid, fascist, whatever the adjectives or whatever adverbs you want to use to it. Swastikas are bad.
That's horrible.
So give us something else.
My grandmother had parakeets and she would let them fly around their house. One was Beaky and one was Booty. This is my dad's mom. And Beaky and Booty were meaner than dirt. Meaner than dirt. And when you would walk in from out, like from the garage into my grandmother's house, the refrigerator, like from the kitchen side, my grandmother's refrigerator was like right to your right. And Booty would sit at the refrigerator and come diving at you. Nobody liked that darn bird. Of course, never plucked a feather from it.
What happened to it?
Well, one day my grandmother was frying bacon.
Oh my God.
And Booty landed she went flying over there doing one of her things and she landed in the grease and burnt her feet off.
Booty got her just desserts.
Oh my! Well, then my grandmother just fed her like she sat in her little cage with no feet.
Live with no feet?
Yes,
Oh,
and my grandmother would put food in her mouth and chew it up and stick out her tongue, and the bird would eat off of her tongue. I am not joking.
Kill the bird after it loses its feet in hot grease.
I don't know.
Okay, all right. Give us something else. That's crazy as fucking. You never told me that story.
But we'll have to finish it with the next story. Was she traveled to my dad's house with the birds one time, and with the wall that he had a lot of his mounts on was wooden, like it was like a cypress wall, but even in Laredo, Texas. And so the bird landed on the wall. It couldn't get off of it. It was like 12 feet up in the air because Dad had that high peak ceiling in his living room. And Dad was just like, leave it there.
This is the bird with no feet?
No, this was prior to it landing in the grease. Anyway, it pooed all over that wall. It was horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I'm going to take you to North Carolina to something horrible.
All right.
This is a foster mother named Cindy or Cynthia. And you probably sent me this on purpose. I'm joking. I haven't. Why are you looking at me like that?
Read the story.
So, on June 11th, emergency responders in Mooresville, North Carolina, were called to a home on Rosewood Lane around 5:30. And they were called, there was a 911 call.
AM or PM?
Oh, I'm sorry, PM.
All right.
And it was a 911 call for an unresponsive infant.
It never ends well.
When Iredell County EMS arrived, they found a 7-month-old Elena Nellie Nicole Waycaster, all one name, inside a parked vehicle. She was rushed to Lake Norman Regional Medical Center, but pronounced dead shortly after. So investigators started investigating, and they figured out that baby Elena had been left in the car for several hours on a hot summer day. The outside temperature was nearly 90 degrees.
It was 120, 130 inside the car.
The woman responsible for her care was 51-year-old Cynthia or Cindy Deese, who was Elena's foster mother. And police say Deese left the infant inside the vehicle parked outside their home.
Why?
So we don't
Left
know
her
why.
for several hours.
Yeah. So
hold on one second. How much money do you get in North Carolina for fostering a child?
Here's an answer from GardnerQuads.com.
They get between $400 to $1,000 a month, and they may also receive reimbursement for certain expenses, such as food, clothing, and medical and dental care. That sounds like a business to me. Some people, honestly, obviously, a lot of people foster them out of the goodness of their hearts and stuff like this, but I can't believe this bitch is doing it out of the goodness of her heart as she leaves the kid in the car for numerous hours.
So Elena had been placed in foster care through 7 Homes, Inc., which is a private foster agency based in North Carolina. And a representative from the agency said, we're deeply saddened, of course, because they put Elena in this woman's hands.
Any asshole could sign up, I guess.
And neighbors say that Cindy had several foster children in the home at the time.
Yeah. So she's several, to me, means more than 2. So let's say 3. So she's getting $3,000 a month.
So
that's 11.
Child Protective Services is obviously reviewing the foster placements in that home. And experts are saying that 10 minutes in a car at that that heat level could be life-threatening for an infant. But she's been charged with she was arrested and charged with involuntary manslaughter and child abuse by willful act causing serious bodily injury, and she was booked into the Iredell County Detention Center on a $75,000 secured bond.
Fuck her. The kid died, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, the kid got cooked to death?
Mm-hmm. And so far this year, at the time of this, she's the 7th kid in the United States to die in a hot car.
We just did one the other day. Oh, prayers for all them. Let's do one of these. Well, let's back to some flight time. These stories always, never, ever, they always satisfy my crime curiosity, and they never disappoint. So this dude, they had a dude from South Florida, all right? And his name is Tyrone Alexander, and he's 35 years old. So he really likes to travel.
Okay, that's good.
But he didn't like to pay for it.
Well, that's not good.
But he went on over 120 free flights.
Like with points or?
Not quite. How would you guess they would get on 120 free flights?
I'm thinking like FedEx flight, like in some type of cargo plane.
No, it's airplane. It's regular passenger planes.
He steals people's after they get through the gate. I mean, how is he going to get through the gate without a ticket?
What the people going to do if you steal my fucking ticket?
They won't get on the flight.
So I was a little perplexed myself about this. But, he did it. He flew 120 times for free by pretending to be a flight attendant. All right.
But
listen, now he's been found guilty of fraud. So on Tuesday, June 10th, the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida said in news release that a federal jury had found 35-year-old Tyrone Alexander guilty of wire fraud, and entering into a secure area of an airport by false pretenses. And I'll give you the juice. They said in total, Alexandra flew on 34 flights with the airline carrier without paying for any of them by posing as a flight attendant who worked for other airlines. Now, there's 120 flights in total, so they only went after this one airline.
Okay.
Right. So over the 34 flights, Alexandra claimed through the airline's carrier website application process. This process that required an applicant to select whether they were a pilot or a flight attendant and provide their employee date of hire and badge number information. And that he had worked for 7 different airlines and had approximately 30 different badge numbers and dates of hire. He's mixing it up, right?
Yeah.
And this is what officials said about Alexander's use of a flight attendant's website to book free flights between 2018 and 2024. He got away with it for 6 fucking years. You can't blame the dude for getting over on. That's on them. So they said Alexander posed as a flight attendant on 3 other airline carriers, resulting in him scheduling over 120 free flights by falsely claiming to be a flight attendant. So, and he was found guilty as fuck on June 5th and is set to be sentenced on August the 25th. So, but the U.S. Attorney, Hayden P. O'Brien for the Southern District of Florida, and the Special Agent in Charge, Antonio Pittman of the Transportation and Security Administration, Atlanta's field office, they made the announcement, and they continued and said TSA investigated the case. So, guess how much time this dude can get?
It better be more than a year. I mean, less than a year, because people that kill 30 dogs get a year. So
20 years for the wire fraud charges, as well as 10 years for entering a secure area of airport by false pretenses. This motherfucker's looking at 30 years. But it just goes to show you that there are all kinds of people in the world, and who in the world can come up with this?
Ah,
I mean, if he would have put this is a genius.
what
Genius
if he was
idea.
bad?
It's a genius idea.
No, I get it.
I would take it a step further to say, if I'm getting through TSA by fake flight attendant badges, I might be running some dope.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what if he was doing really nefarious things? Like, what?
Well, it doesn't
I know,
matter
what
what you're
if
doing.
it
A
is a-
crime is a crime. What if a frog's ass was glass and it broke every time?
Well,
he
I
jumped?
hope that the airlines.
What if he put his sense to finding the
Goodness.
cure for cancer, or what if he put his smartness to solving fucking climate control? I don't know. But there you have it.
That's scary.
I don't know how scary it is. It's pretty ingenious.
No, because
Think about it. I think the cheapest flight must be like $400. Yes, he got over $500,000 worth of free flights in 6 years.
Yeah.
All right, what you got? All right, y'all. So I'm gonna take you to the Diddy trial update because I forgot to do it yesterday because I don't give a shit about him. And he doesn't have as many headlines out now as he used to, but he's still got some because his trial is still going on. And one of the headlines says, prosecutors say a juror wasn't honest. Diddy's team says that's not the real reason they want him out. Fast forward, and this one I might touch on for a second. Rhino erection pills and hours of foreplay. Why Diddy's ex says sex parties were not so fun. Have you ever heard of a rhino needing an erection pill?
No.
Well, what's the point of that? I mean, are they trying, I guess, make more baby rhinos? Well, they trying to make rhino porn? Well, let's see what they say about this. So, Diddy's attorney cross-examined his ex during the music mogul sex trafficking trial. And the ex testified that she purchased rhino erection pills in preparation for hotel nights. The group sexual encounters she says she had with Diddy. Now, she also she testified under her fake name, Jane. Said she participated in the hotel nights with male escorts. The sexual encounters she described resembled the now infamous freak-offs. And Jane said she would buy the rhino pills, which is a common over-the-counter brand found at gas stations, as well as matching shorts for Combs and the escorts. He liked to be fashionable, I guess, and wanted everybody to be dressed in the same drawers. But she had told the court that Combs would force her to perform foreplay for hours, saying it was really not so fun having to wind up these guys. In the porn business, they call that fluffers, right?
Gosh,
I don't really get it. They have, another one headline is, woman tossed from courtroom after screaming at Diddy. What she said stunned the courtroom. Not reading that. This one says, she was in bed with Diddy when Cassie's assault video surfaced. Here's how he reacted, right? I mean, Diddy, like the titty. Rhino, I never heard of Rhino before, so. All right. And I've been remiss because I haven't watched, I don't really know dick about this case, but evidently it's a big deal. It's been in there. Not as big as Diddy. Y'all, evidently people are getting tired AF of Diddy because there was only those 4 headlines instead of 20. Oh, no. Here's another one. Sean Diddy Combs' son share Father's Day tributes amid the rapper's sex trafficking trial. Who gives a fuck, right? So, but this other one is evidently a big deal. Lori Dalbo, what's her name? I don't even have to look it up. I could just tell you about it. You know who I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Lord, this case. And they've got all kinds of, or they got documentaries on it, etc. And evidently it's the second time this woman's been up. So Lori Ballo.
Oh.
B-A-L-O.
I mean, not that I know. I've heard the name. I didn't know doubt. I'm sorry.
What are you sorry about? I just want you to tell me what you know about.
I don't know.
You're
anything.
it's like
I've heard the name.
It's like the Real Housewives for you. Well, Lori Ballo Daybell is her name. She just got convicted again. Now, look, in the weeks leading up to this, there were a lot of headlines, but not as many as Diddy. But this one, I'm not saying that. I mean, obviously, sex trafficking is bad. And we have Tina, and we have Miss Tina, and we have the sex trafficking trial and all that, and the trial, sex trafficking series and all that. Well, Lori Ballo Daybell, she's looking at 2 more life sentences on top of the 3 she's already serving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what she's serving for?
I did a story on her not too long ago, a couple months ago, and I can't even remember the specifics of it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she moved to Hawaii. They killed kids.
Okay. So anyway, on top of the 3 she's already serving, it connects with the murders of her 2 children and a romantic rival. So she's been labeled the Doomsday Mom, and who was convicted of killing her 2 young children, an ex-husband, and the ex-wife of her most recent 5th husband, and has been convicted for conspiring to kill another man in Arizona. Now, she's 51, and she was found guilty on Thursday of conspiring to kill Brandon Boudreaux. I bet he's from Louisiana, who was the ex-husband of her niece. And she did this in October 2019, as according to Associated Press. Daybell is already serving 3 life sentences for murder and conspiring to murder her son, 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Ballo, and her daughter, 16-year-old Tylee Ryan, and conspiring to murder Tammy Daybell, the ex-wife of her 5th husband, Chad Daybell. Those 3 murders also took place in 2019. But on Thursday, told you, Daybell was convicted of conspiring with her late brother, Alex Cox, to kill Boudreaux outside his home in Gilbert, Arizona. Thank God he lived. And the AP says that Cox has since died there.
Oh.
Yeah. And while Daybell will be sentenced on July 25th and faces, Cox was a bad guy.
Okay.
She and Daybell conspired to kill Boudreaux.
Okay.
I said Cox is dead. You said, oh.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. It is just one with the world, and that Cox was an asshole. And anyway, then she look at another 2 licenses. So what happened there, real quick? So Cox was an asshole. And according to NBC 12, the detective said that Cox shot at Boudreaux with a rifle while he was outside his home. The gunshot missed Boudreaux and shattered a window on the driver's side of his car while he was inside. Boudreaux said he recognized the Jeep where the shot came from, and it was the car Daybell's daughter Tylee used to drive before she disappeared. She got murdered by her mama. If you follow us on TikTok, because you can't say murdered. Daybell, on this one, this is always love. The person that represents himself has a fool for a client. Daybell represented herself during the trial. And this is all that headlines are going the past couple weeks I didn't tell you about. She actually got removed from the courtroom by the judge because she got in a fight with the judge. Not a fist fight, but a verbal.
Yeah.
She said, I did not enjoy sitting and giving someone who tried to kill me the chance to question me, Boudreaux told reporters after Daybell's conviction. But I owed it to Charles, to Tylee, to JJ, and Tammy to speak because I could. Could you imagine that? That motherfucker tried to kill you or killed your loved ones or whatever, and they acted, and they have a right to be their own lawyer. They get to get up and question, or if you're a rape victim and this motherfucker gets to get up and question you.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think that's a rule that needs to be fixed. Colby Ryan, who's Daybell's only living child, stood by Boudreaux as he talked to the reporters, meaning like, go fuck yourself, mom. So we stand united, Boudreaux said. We're still family. We always will be, regardless of the things that happen. So, anyways, doesn't really matter. It's 6 through the smoke. Look on that bitch's face. Doesn't really matter. She's already doing many licenses, but I hope she gets the rest of them like she deserves. All right, I got to do one more. It's time for beast mode. We talked about seagulls and swastikas. I think this one might be one of the most disturbing beast modes we've ever had.
Okay.
Are you prepared?
No.
I'm going to end this day on this story. So, lady named Katrina D. Favret and the dude named Robert M. Craig. They like to do videos.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But their videos weren't nice videos. They depicted acts of sadistic violence against
dogs.
No.
Horses.
No.
No idea.
I'll give you 2 more guesses.
Birds.
No. And that's your grandmother's parakeet with no feet.
Raccoon.
No, 1 more.
Am I getting closer?
It's an animal. It's an
squirrels.
Animal that normally lives in the jungle.
Tigers.
Fuck. Be sadistic. A tiger eats your ass. All right, so let's just tell you about it. A federal grand jury indicted 2 people accused of creating and distributing videos of monkeys.
I knew it as soon
being tortured So the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Ohio said in a press release, they unsealed the indictment and it charged Katrina D. Favret and Robert M. Craig for their involvement with online groups which were dedicated to creating and distributing videos depicting acts of extreme violence and sexual abuse against monkeys. Now, come on, man. You know, they say we're derivatives from monkeys and shit like that. I mean, you can do that to a dog or a seagull or whatever. I think maybe a monkey has a little more awareness, but these videos were made and distributed with the help of a third man, a nice Ronald P. Bedra, and he got sentenced to 54 months in prison, but after pleading guilty to similar charges last year. But the court documents say that Favret and Craig outsourced the making of these videos to individuals in Indonesia. Guess they got no monkey laws in Indonesia. And in most cases, the two would contact an individual and detail a specific form of abuse they wished to see performed. This is so fucked up.
It's like OnlyFans with monkeys.
Exactly. And they said if that person was willing to perform the abuse on a monkey on camera, they were paid a small fee.
Small fee.
Maybe they used some rhino pills. The pair then distributed these videos depicting acts of sadistic violence against juvenile and adult monkeys. Yes, there's no shortage of monkeys in Indonesia for them to do this to. But the indictment also details some of the more specific and graphic actions the duo are accused of commissioning. The videos that are alleged to have been created as part of the conspiracy included depictions of monkeys being sodomized. If you get this, I will give you $1 billion.
A banana. I don't know.
Sodomized with a heated screwdriver. And wait, and a monkey having its genitalia cut with scissors.
Why do you do? No, I can't do this.
This goes to how fucked up the world is and how it takes all different kinds of people. I'm not laughing at the monkeys, y'all. I'm laughing just you will never make me believe that the fucking fiction is stranger than the truth. And she's crying. Hey, I got to make you cry today. But so these two assholes haven't entered a plea to the charges and their lawyers do not have a comment. Monkeys sodomite. Now who can even think that up? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do some OnlyFans with monkeys. Okay. How do you come up with heating up a screwdriver and sticking it up the monkey's ass?
Or cutting off her leg.
Yeah, okay. People cut off people's genitalia. I've never heard of someone, human or monkey or otherwise animal related, heating up a screwdriver, putting it on video. You gotta go find your monkey, bring it into whatever. I guess you do in a cage. I don't know. I would think a monkey would at least bite the fuck out of you
for a minimal fee.
For a minimal fee, but then they turn around, they sold it for big fees.
But they might have. I mean, sedate the monkey. I don't know.
I don't think
they care enough to. But I'm just saying for their safety. I can't imagine a monkey just laying there and saying, "Give it to me." I would think it would fight.
They're in Indonesia making monkey rape videos. I'm pretty sure. Well, you know what? I'm not going to speculate.
Now we just need law enforcement to say, well, they weren't harmed. They're not human.
Yeah, they just won't even get any more time for the crime. What do you think about that?
I'm disgusted.
Oh, it's pretty fucking disgusting.
I'm sickened and sad.
But you know what?
There's humans out there.
Yeah. And you're crying, and that's okay. But true evil exists. But for every asshole like that, there's an angel like you. I'm trying to make you smile. Anyway, all right. Well, thought it was going to end a little bit of a different night there.
It's a horrible story. How did you think that was going to end?
Well, I didn't really think about you crying. So anyway, I wish I could be in a courtroom and hear the judge give that sentence.
I wish
I mean,
that I could go.
Hey, dude, wait, you think you're pissed off? Think of people on the jury that get to watch these videos of a monkey with a screwdriver up his ass, a hot screwdriver up his ass. Monkeys, goals with swastikas. We started this episode before, and I forgot to press records. I actually had a dog story in there. And that's the one you thought I was going to do. I was doing beast mode, huh?
Yeah.
I'll do it next time.
I could be prepared for that. I
gave you enough pain for today. But we love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for liking, listening, and sharing, and all that good podcaster shit. Hashtag Justice for Bradley. Look, y'all, when you do a comment about it, just hashtag Justice for Bradley everywhere. It helps with the algorithms. It gets more people to know about Bradley's story. And this story is a humdinger. It's going to be something that we're talking about truth, a stranger in fiction.
Yeah.
This one's got it all.
Yeah.
And then, of course, hashtag Justice for Haley. I'm now changing mine to hashtag Justice for Haley is coming. Cobb County DA, shout out to you, ma'am, and the people that are openly and actively investigating the case. So y'all give her attaboys, but don't rush them. Don't rush them. You want it. If it was your loved one, you'd want it done correctly this time, since they do it right the first time.
When you handed over all tied up in a bow Courtney's case, it took how long?
6 weeks.
No, for you to solve it, yes. But once you handed it over to the police, it took over a year.
No.
No?
I handed it over in like 9 weeks. I solved it, but then I verified some stuff and rechecked things and what have you. But, it took me a couple more weeks before I had my aha moment.
Right.
I had to tell the family before I had it ready to go.
But once you handed it...
But so it's only been 2 weeks. The Cobb County DA took the case. I'm telling them just give it some time.
That's why I'm asking. When you handed it over to the police, they didn't go make an arrest. They had to do their own investigation. How long did it take them?
Way too long, because they tried to sweep it under the rug. That's a story for another day. But even had they been a legit agency,
right?
Like hashtag Justice for Barbara Blunt. We've been on this case for 17, 18 years now, and we're closer to solving it than ever. And then I got to rush. You don't have to rush.
And
it's
even Mary happened faster too.
Yeah. But you don't have to rush.
No.
Don't rush them. Give them attaboys. Get up somewhere right now. The detective is working on a hashtag Justice for Haley.
Yeah.
All right. Love and appreciate you, each and every one of y'all. And I'll be suffering the rest of the day because I made my wife cry already this morning. She's going to be mad.
Say that?
Now she's smiling.
Now you're like in an abusive relationship. You're going to be suffering.
Now
suffering when I cook you breakfast.
I made you laugh. That was the whole goal of that. But I got nothing else for y'all today. Love and appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm Woody Overton.
I'm Cindy Overton.
I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.